Maya thought the strangest thing about college would be her roommate's dirty dishes until she woke up to find her actual roommate wasn't human. Maya had always been the kind of person who woke up at the smallest sound. Even as a child, she could hear her parents whispering in the kitchen 2 rooms away. Now living in her tiny apartment near the college, she knew every sound the old building made. The heater clicking on at midnight, the upstairs neighbor's cat running across the floor, the ice maker in her fridge dropping cubes into the tray. But tonight was different. It started around 2:30 in the morning. Maya was deep in sleep when something pulled her back to consciousness. At first, she couldn't figure out what had woken her up. The apartment felt normal. No strange noises from outside. No sirens or loud music from other apartments, just silence. Then she heard it again. A soft humming sound like someone was playing music very quietly. But it wasn't coming from her phone or her laptop. Both were sitting on her desk, completely silent. The sound seemed to be coming from inside her own room, somewhere near the foot of her bed. Maya lay perfectly still, her heart starting to beat faster. She lived alone. She always locked her door. The windows were on the 3rd floor, so nobody could climb in from outside. Yet something was definitely making that humming sound in her bedroom. She opened her eyes just a crack, trying to see without moving her head. The room was mostly dark, with only a little light coming in from the street lamps outside. Everything looked normal at first. Her dresser was in its usual spot. Her chair was pushed under her desk where she always left it. Her collection of old books was still stacked on the windowsill. But then Maya saw something that made her stop breathing altogether. There was a soft, blue-green light glowing near her feet. It wasn't bright like a flashlight or a phone screen. It was gentle and warm, almost like the light from fireflies she used to catch as a kid. The light seemed to pulse slowly, getting brighter and dimmer in a steady rhythm. As her eyes got used to the darkness, Maya could make out a shape sitting at the end of her bed. At first, she thought maybe it was just her pile of clean laundry that she hadn't put away yet. But laundry doesn't glow, and it definitely doesn't move. The figure was sitting very still, holding something small in its hands. Whatever it was holding was the source of the blue-green light. Maya could see the figure was tall and thin, much taller than any person she knew. Its head was a different shape too, longer and more oval than a human head should be. Maya's mind started racing. This had to be a dream. There was no way someone was sitting on her bed in the middle of the night, especially someone who looked so unusual. She tried to convince herself she was still sleeping, that her imagination was just playing tricks on her. But the humming sound was too real. The light was too clear, and when she shifted slightly under her blanket, the figure's head turned toward her. That's when Maya saw the eyes. They were huge, much larger than human eyes, and they seemed to glow with their own soft light. They weren't scary or mean-looking. If anything, they looked curious, maybe even surprised. The creature had been so focused on whatever it was holding that it hadn't noticed Maya was awake. For a long moment, they just looked at each other. Maya was too shocked to move or speak. The being seemed just as surprised as she was. It had clearly not expected to be discovered. Maya's first thought was to scream. Every movie she'd ever seen told her that's what people do when they find strangers in their room. But something stopped her. Maybe it was the way the creature was sitting so calmly, not trying to hurt her or scare her. Maybe it was the gentle way the light pulsed from whatever it was holding. Or maybe it was just the look of complete surprise on its face, like a kid who had been caught sneaking cookies before dinner. The creature slowly raised one hand, palm facing toward Maya. It was clearly trying to show that it meant no harm. Its fingers were longer than human fingers, and there seemed to be a faint shimmer to its skin, like it was made of something that wasn't quite solid. Maya found her voice, though it came out as barely more than a whisper. "Who are you?" The creature tilted its head to one side like a dog trying to understand a new command. It looked down at the glowing device in its other hand, then back at Maya. It opened its mouth as if to speak, but instead of words, a series of soft clicks and musical tones came out. Maya stared in amazement. The sounds were beautiful, almost like a song, but she had no idea what they meant. The creature seemed to realize this and looked frustrated. It held up the glowing device and pressed something on its surface. Suddenly, the device projected tiny lights into the air above it. The lights formed shapes and symbols that seemed to dance and change. Maya watched in wonder as the symbols shifted and moved, creating patterns that somehow felt familiar, even though she'd never seen anything like them before. Then, something incredible happened. The symbols began to make sense to her, not like reading words on a page, but more like understanding a feeling or remembering something she'd forgotten. The creature was trying to communicate with her through the device. The first message was simple. Sorry. Maya blinked hard, wondering if she was losing her mind. But the meaning was clear in her head, even though no words had been spoken. The next message came through just as clearly. I did not mean to wake you. Maya sat up slowly in her bed, pulling her blanket up to her chin. She was still scared, but her curiosity was starting to win over her fear. You can understand me? She asked. The creature nodded and worked with its device again. More symbols appeared, and Maya somehow understood. I have been learning your language. I have been here for many weeks, but I thought you could not see me. Here? Maya looked around her small apartment. You've been living here? In my apartment? The creature's large eyes seemed to show embarrassment. It nodded again and created more symbols. I live in the space between your walls and the electricity that runs through your home. I did not think it would bother you. Maya's mind was spinning. A creature had been living in her apartment for weeks, hiding in the electrical system. It sounded impossible, but here it was, sitting on her bed talking to her through some kind of amazing device. What are you? She asked, her voice getting stronger as her shock began to fade. The creature looked thoughtful, then worked with its device for a longer time. When the symbols appeared, they told a story that Maya could barely believe. The being was from somewhere far away, farther than any place on Earth. Its home had become dangerous, and it had come to Earth looking for a safe place to stay. As the creature continued to communicate, Maya learned that it had chosen her apartment because of all the electronic devices she had. Her old radio, her laptop, even her microwave created a kind of energy that made the creature comfortable. It had been living quietly in that energy, trying not to disturb her daily life. But tonight something had gone wrong with its device, and it had needed to come into the physical world to fix it. That's when Maya had woken up and seen it. Maya realized her fear was almost completely gone now. This creature wasn't here to hurt her or take anything from her. It was just trying to survive, looking for a safe place to exist. In a strange way, she almost felt sorry for it. What's your name? She asked. The creature worked with its device again, and Maya understood. My people have names that are more like songs than words. But if I had to choose a human name, I would choose Alex. Maya smiled for the first time since waking up. Alex, that's a nice name. I'm Maya. The creature, Alex, seemed pleased. It created more symbols. Maya, that is a beautiful name. It means illusion in some of your languages, but also water in others. Maya was amazed that Alex knew so much about human names and languages. How long have you been studying us? Since I arrived on your world, I have been learning. Your people are very interesting. You create beautiful music and stories. You care for each other in ways my people do not always understand. As they continued to communicate, Maya felt like she was living in a dream. Here she was in the middle of the night, having a conversation with a being from another world. It should have been terrifying, but instead, it felt like the most amazing thing that had ever happened to her. The night was full of surprises, and Maya had a feeling that her life would never be quite the same again. Maya couldn't sleep for the rest of the night. After Alex had finished explaining the basics of who they were and why they were there, the being had quietly faded back into whatever dimension they normally existed in. Maya was left alone in her bed, staring at the ceiling and wondering if the whole thing had been some kind of crazy dream. But when she woke up the next morning, there was proof that it had all been real. Her old radio, which hadn't worked properly in months, was now playing crystal clear music from stations she'd never been able to pick up before. Her laptop was running faster than it ever had, and even her ancient microwave seemed to be heating food more evenly than usual. Maya went about her normal day, attending classes, grabbing lunch with friends, studying in the library, but her mind kept drifting back to the incredible encounter. She found herself looking forward to evening, hoping that Alex would appear again. Around 9 o'clock that night, Maya was sitting at her desk trying to focus on homework when she noticed the familiar blue-green glow starting to appear near her bookshelf. Her heart skipped with excitement rather than fear this time. Alex? She called softly. Is that you? The glow grew brighter, and slowly Alex's tall figure became visible. They were holding the same communication device from the night before, but this time they seemed more confident, less worried about being discovered. Alex activated their device and the dancing symbols appeared in the air. "Good evening, Maya. I hope you do not mind that I have returned." Maya smiled and closed her textbook. "I don't mind at all. Actually, I've been thinking about you all day. I have so many questions. I thought you might." Alex responded through the symbols. "I have questions about you as well. Your species is very puzzling to us." Over the next hour, Maya learned things about Alex and their people that seemed like something out of a science fiction movie. Alex explained that their species didn't have a single home planet like humans did. Instead, they lived in what Alex called the spaces between, dimensions that existed alongside the physical world but were normally invisible to species like humans. "Think of it like this," Alex communicated, clearly trying to find a way Maya could understand. "You know how radio waves travel through the air all around you, but you cannot see them unless you have the right device to detect them? My people exist in a similar way. We are here, but in layers of reality that most beings cannot perceive." Maya nodded slowly. "So you're like energy beings? Not exactly energy, but not exactly physical matter either. We are something in between. This is why I can live in your electrical systems without taking up physical space or using your resources." Alex went on to explain that their people had once lived more like humans did, with physical bodies on physical worlds. But over thousands of years they had evolved to exist in these between spaces, which allowed them to travel vast distances across the universe without needing spaceships or spending decades getting from one place to another. "It sounds amazing," Maya said. "Why did you come to Earth?" Alex's symbols took on a sadder tone as they explained. Their home dimension had been affected by something Alex called the Great Disruption, a cosmic event that had made their traditional living spaces dangerous and unstable. Many of Alex's people had been forced to find new places to exist, scattering across the universe to different worlds and dimensions. "I have been traveling for what you would call several years, looking for a place where I could safely exist while the disruption passes. Earth has very rich electromagnetic fields because of all the technology your people use. It makes a comfortable environment for my kind." Maya felt a wave of sympathy. "So you're basically a refugee. You had to leave your home and find somewhere else to live." "That is a good way to explain it, yes. I did not choose to leave, but staying would have been dangerous for me." Maya asked why Alex had chosen her apartment specifically, and the answer made her laugh. Alex had been drawn to her building because she had more electronic devices than most of her neighbors. Her collection of old radios, her gaming console, her laptop, and even her string of LED lights created what Alex described as a very cozy electromagnetic environment. "I have been living quite comfortably in the space around your devices," Alex explained. "Your old radio in particular creates very pleasant vibrations that help me rest. Is that why it's been working better?" Maya asked. "You fixed it?" "I made some small adjustments to help it function properly. I hope you do not mind. I wanted to give something back since I was using your space." Maya was touched by Alex's thoughtfulness. "I don't mind at all. That radio belonged to my grandmother. I was so sad when it stopped working properly." Alex seemed pleased by this. "I could sense that the device had emotional importance to you. There were traces of affection and memory in the electromagnetic patterns around it. This is one of the things that fascinated me about your species." "What do you mean?" Alex worked with their device for a moment, and Maya could sense they were trying to find the right way to explain something complex. "My people experience existence very differently from yours. We share thoughts and feelings directly with each other through our electromagnetic connections. But humans, you create these emotional connections to objects, to places, to other beings in ways that we find very beautiful and mysterious." Maya listened, fascinated, as Alex described how they had been studying human behavior by observing the electromagnetic traces that emotions and memories left behind on objects and in spaces. Alex had learned about human love, friendship, loss, and joy by sensing the emotional energy that people left in their homes and belongings. "Your apartment tells many stories," Alex continued. "I can sense happiness here, but also some loneliness. You miss someone, perhaps family who live far away. You work very hard at your studies, but sometimes you worry about your future. You love music and books, and you have a kind heart that cares about others. Maya was amazed. You can tell all that just from my electromagnetic field or whatever? Electromagnetic patterns, yes, but also the way you arrange your space, the objects you choose to keep close to you, the sounds you make when you are alone. I have been learning about humans by observing these things for months. Not just in your home, but in the homes of many of your neighbors. That's not creepy at all, Maya joked, and Alex seemed to understand her humor. I realize it might seem like an invasion of privacy, but for my people, this kind of observation is natural. We do not have secrets from each other in the way humans do. Everything we think and feel is shared with our community through our electromagnetic connections. This led to a long conversation about the differences between Alex's species and humans. Alex's people didn't have families in the way humans understood them. Instead, they existed in large connected networks where everyone shared thoughts, emotions, and experiences directly. There was no loneliness in Alex's world, but there was also very little individual identity. This is why I find humans so interesting, Alex explained. You are all separate from each other, living in your own minds, yet you work so hard to connect and understand each other. You create art and music and stories to share your inner worlds. It is beautiful, but it also looks very difficult. Maya realized that Alex had been alone in a way their species had never experienced before. Cut off from their people and living in isolation, Alex was learning what loneliness felt like for the first time. Is that why you revealed yourself to me? Maya asked gently. Because you were lonely? Alex's response came more slowly this time. I think perhaps yes. I have been watching humans form connections with each other, and I began to wonder what it would be like to have that kind of individual relationship. When you woke up and saw me, I could have hidden again, but something made me want to try communicating with you instead. Maya felt a warm feeling in her chest. In a strange way, she and Alex had found each other at a time when they both needed a friend. Maya had been feeling pretty isolated since starting college, missing her family and struggling to make deep connections with her classmates. And Alex was experiencing loneliness for the first time in their existence. I'm glad you decided to stay and talk, Maya said. This is the most interesting conversation I've had in months. As the night went on, Maya learned more about Alex's abilities and limitations. Alex could manipulate electronic devices, move through electrical systems, and exist without taking up physical space or needing food or water. But they couldn't travel far from sources of electromagnetic energy, and they had trouble affecting the physical world directly. I can adjust the flow of electricity, but I cannot move physical objects easily, Alex explained. And I need to be near electronic devices to maintain my form in your dimension for very long. This explained why Alex had chosen to live in Maya's apartment rather than just visiting occasionally. They needed the steady electromagnetic environment her devices provided. As the evening came to an end, Maya found herself hoping this wouldn't be their last conversation. Will you come back tomorrow night? She asked. Would you like me to? Alex responded, and Maya could sense hope in the symbols. Definitely. I feel like we've barely scratched the surface of getting to know each other. Alex seemed pleased. I would like that very much. Perhaps tomorrow I can show you some of the things I have learned. Over the next few weeks, Maya and Alex settled into the strangest roommate arrangement she could have ever imagined. Every evening after Maya finished her classes and homework, Alex would appear in that familiar blue-green glow, ready to continue their ongoing conversation about life, the universe, and everything in between. Maya quickly discovered that living with an interdimensional being had some unexpected advantages. Her electric bill dropped to almost nothing, because Alex somehow made all her devices run more efficiently. Her internet connection became lightning fast, and her phone battery seemed to last forever. Even her morning coffee tasted better because Alex had figured out how to optimize her coffee maker's heating system. You're like the world's most helpful ghost, Maya told Alex one evening as she watched her laptop boot up in record time. I prefer to think of myself as a very considerate houseguest, Alex replied through their communication device. And Maya could sense humor in the symbols, but it wasn't all smooth sailing. Alex's presence sometimes caused unexpected side effects that Maya had to learn to work around. Her microwave occasionally heated food in perfect geometric patterns, creating perfectly circular hotspots that left the edges cold. Her TV sometimes picked up signals that definitely weren't from any Earth-based stations, showing her glimpses of what Alex called interdimensional broadcasts. Strange, beautiful images that looked like nothing she'd ever seen. The most challenging issue was the light shows. When Alex was particularly excited or emotional, their electromagnetic field would create aurora-like displays that danced across Maya's windows. The first time it happened, Maya woke up to find her neighbors gathered outside, pointing up at her apartment and taking pictures with their phones. "Alex," Maya whispered urgently as she peeked through her curtains at the crowd below. "You need to tone it down. People are starting to notice." Alex immediately dimmed their glow and the light show faded. "I apologize, Maya. I was listening to one of your music compositions and became what you might call carried away by the emotional content." Maya had to invest in blackout curtains and tell her neighbors that she'd been experimenting with some new LED art project. Thankfully, most college students were used to their neighbors doing weird things, so the explanation worked. The music incident led to one of Maya's favorite discoveries about Alex. Her alien roommate was completely fascinated by human music. Alex would spend hours analyzing songs, breaking down the mathematical relationships between notes and trying to understand how humans used sound to convey emotions. "Your species has created something remarkable," Alex explained one night after listening to Maya's entire playlist. "You take vibrations in the air and arrange them in patterns that can make other humans feel joy, sadness, excitement, or peace. My people communicate through electromagnetic harmonics, but we have never thought to use our communications purely for emotional expression." Maya started sharing different types of music with Alex each night. Classical pieces made Alex's glow pulse in slow, steady rhythms. Pop songs created quick, bright flashes of light. But Alex was most fascinated by jazz music, which seemed to make their entire form shimmer and dance in unpredictable patterns. "Jazz is like electromagnetic chaos," Alex marveled after listening to an old Miles Davis recording. "It follows rules but then breaks them in beautiful ways. It reminds me of how quantum particles behave when they are not being observed." Maya began to see her own music collection through Alex's eyes, understanding for the first time how mathematically complex even simple songs really were. Alex taught her to listen for the underlying patterns and structures that made music emotionally powerful. In return, Maya helped Alex understand the emotional and cultural contexts that made music meaningful to humans. She explained how certain songs could remind people of important memories, how music could bring communities together, and how it could express feelings that were too complex for words. "Humans use music to connect with each other across time and space," Maya explained. "When I listen to a song that my grandmother loved, I feel connected to her even though she's gone. When thousands of people sing the same song at a concert, they become part of something bigger than themselves." This concept amazed Alex, whose people shared all their thoughts and experiences directly. The idea that humans had to work so hard to connect with each other, using art and music and stories as bridges between their separate minds, was both beautiful and puzzling to them. Alex also proved to be incredibly helpful with Maya's schoolwork, though not in ways she had expected. Alex couldn't write her papers or do her homework for her, but they could offer perspectives that no human teacher or tutor ever could. When Maya was struggling with a physics assignment about electromagnetic fields, Alex was able to show her exactly how the fields looked and moved in real time. When she had trouble understanding a philosophy paper about consciousness and identity, Alex shared their own experiences of existing between dimensions and questioning what it meant to be an individual. "Your philosophers spend much time wondering if other minds really exist or if you are alone in the universe," Alex observed after Maya explained solipsism to them. "This is a problem my people never had, since we share consciousness directly. But now that I am separated from my network, I am beginning to understand why your thinkers worry about these things." The most surprising thing Alex taught Maya was how to see the emotional history of objects and spaces. Alex couldn't give her full electromagnetic perception like their people had, but they could help her notice subtle clues that revealed the stories behind things. "Your coffee mug carries traces of many peaceful mornings," Alex pointed out one day. "I can sense that you use it when you want to feel calm and centered. But this textbook carries stress and frustration. You have studied from it during many late nights when you were worried about exams." At first, Maya thought Alex was just making lucky guesses. But as she paid more attention, she started to notice patterns herself. Objects that had been present during emotional moments did seem to carry a kind of energy or association. Her grandmother's radio wasn't just nostalgic because she remembered her grandmother. There was something in the way the light hit it, or the way it sat on the shelf, that communicated its importance. Alex also helped Maya understand her neighbors in new ways. Through their electromagnetic observations, Alex could tell her things about the people living around her that she never would have noticed on her own. The person above you is very creative but struggles with self-doubt, Alex mentioned one evening. Their apartment contains many half-finished projects. The person below you appears to be in love but is afraid to express it. Their space carries both joy and anxiety. Maya found herself becoming more empathetic toward her neighbors, understanding that everyone was dealing with their own invisible struggles and triumphs. When the person upstairs was stomping around at odd hours, Maya realized they might be pacing because of anxiety, not trying to be inconsiderate. When the person downstairs played music loudly, Maya recognized it might be their way of building up courage. The arrangement wasn't perfect, though. Maya had to be careful about having friends over, since she couldn't exactly explain the occasional strange light shows, or the fact that her electronics sometimes displayed symbols that definitely weren't in English. She also had to resist the urge to show off Alex's abilities or mention their existence to anyone. "It's hard sometimes," Maya confided to Alex one night. "I want to tell people about you because you're the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. But I know they wouldn't understand and it might not be safe for you." "I understand," Alex replied. "My people value privacy and caution when interacting with other species. There are many beings in the universe who would not react well to our existence. But I am grateful that you are willing to keep my secret." The secrecy was challenging in unexpected ways. Maya found herself having to make up excuses for why her electronics worked so well, or why she seemed to know oddly specific things about physics and interdimensional theory. Her professors started praising her improved understanding of complex concepts, and she had to bite her tongue to keep from explaining that she had a very unusual tutor. But the hardest part was the loneliness during the day. Maya had gotten so used to Alex's presence and their fascinating conversations that the daylight hours sometimes felt empty by comparison. She would catch herself looking forward to evening with an intensity that worried her. "Am I becoming too dependent on you?" she asked Alex one night. "I feel like I enjoy talking to you more than I enjoy talking to other humans." Alex's response was thoughtful. "I have wondered about this as well. I know that my people sometimes become too isolated from others of their kind when they spend long periods in single-being relationships. But I also think that meaningful connections are rare for both our species. Perhaps it is natural that we would treasure this friendship." Maya realized that her relationship with Alex was teaching her things about connection and communication that she could apply to her human relationships too. Alex's patient way of explaining complex ideas inspired Maya to be more patient with her classmates. Alex's genuine curiosity about human nature encouraged Maya to be more curious about the people around. Everything changed on a rainy Thursday evening in October. Maya was sitting at her desk working on a paper about ancient civilizations when Alex appeared earlier than usual, their blue-green glow pulsing with unusual intensity. "Maya," Alex's symbols flashed with excitement, "I have discovered something extraordinary. Something that changes everything I thought I knew about my time on your world." Maya could sense Alex's emotions even before the communication device translated their words. There was excitement, yes, but also confusion, and something that felt like hope mixed with disbelief. "What did you find?" Maya asked, closing her laptop and giving Alex her full attention. Alex moved closer, their electromagnetic field causing Maya's desk lamp to flicker gently. "I have been using your radio equipment to monitor various frequencies, as you know. Most of the signals I detect are normal human communications, your television, radio stations, cellular networks. But tonight I found something different." Alex activated their device and projected a series of complex symbols into the air. Maya had gotten better at understanding Alex's communication over the weeks, but these symbols were more intricate than anything she'd seen before. "I found a signal that was not meant for human receivers," Alex continued. "It was broadcast on frequencies that your technology can barely detect, using patterns that I recognized immediately." Maya's heart started beating faster. "You mean a signal from your people?" "Not exactly," Alex replied, and Maya could sense their excitement growing. "The signal was from my people, but it was being broadcast from your world. Maya, there are others of my kind already here on Earth." Maya stared at Alex in amazement. "There are more of you?" Living here? For how long? Alex worked with their device, pulling up more complex displays. The signal contained information that suggests some of my people have been on Earth for many of your decades. They have been living quietly, integrated into human society in ways I never imagined possible. Over the next hour, Alex explained what they had discovered. The signal wasn't just a random message. It was part of an organized communication network. Alex had found evidence of a structured system that had been operating on Earth for over 50 years, connecting beings like Alex with each other and with certain humans who knew about their existence. But Alex, Maya said, trying to process this incredible information, if there's a whole network of your people here, why didn't you know about it? Why were you living alone in my apartment? Alex's glow dimmed slightly, and Maya sensed embarrassment in their response. This is the most surprising part of my discovery. The network has been disrupted for several months by increased solar activity in your system. The electromagnetic storms from your sun have been interfering with our communication frequencies. Many of us who arrived recently became isolated, unable to connect with the established community. Maya realized what this meant. So you've been alone not because you were the only one of your kind here, but because you couldn't find the others. Exactly. And Maya, there is more. The humans who work with my people are not just random individuals who stumbled upon us. They appear to be carefully selected individuals who possess certain qualities that make them suitable for cross-species cooperation. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. What kind of qualities? Alex projected new symbols, and Maya could sense they were choosing their words carefully. From what I can understand from the partial communications I have intercepted, the humans in this network tend to be individuals with high levels of empathy, curiosity, and adaptability. They are often people who work in fields related to science, communication, or cultural understanding. People like anthropology students? Maya asked quietly. People exactly like anthropology students, Alex confirmed. Maya sat back in her chair, her mind racing. Alex, are you saying that me finding you wasn't just a coincidence? That I was somehow chosen? I do not know for certain, Alex replied honestly. It is possible that my choice to live in your apartment was influenced by subconscious factors. Or it is possible that you possess the natural qualities that make you suitable for this kind of contact. Or it could simply be that the universe has a sense of humor. But Alex wasn't done with their revelations. They had managed to partially decode more of the intercepted communications and discovered something even more shocking. Maya, the cooperation between my people and humans has been going on for much longer, and is much more extensive than I initially believed. Some of the technological advances that humans have made in recent decades appear to have been developed with assistance from my people. Maya's eyes widened. You mean like computers and the internet? Possibly, though I cannot be certain. The communications I intercepted suggest collaboration in fields like renewable energy, medical technology, and theoretical physics. It appears that my people have been quietly sharing knowledge with human researchers, helping to guide your species toward more sustainable and advanced technologies. Maya felt like her entire understanding of the world was shifting. So there's been this secret collaboration between humans and aliens for decades and nobody knows about it? Most humans do not know, no. The collaboration appears to be deliberately kept small and quiet to avoid the panic and chaos that might result from widespread knowledge of our existence. Alex showed Maya more decoded fragments of the communications they had intercepted. There were references to research facilities, university professors, government scientists, and private researchers who had been working with Alex's people for years. There were mentions of breakthrough discoveries that had been carefully introduced into human society over time, disguised as natural human innovations. But Alex, Maya said, if this has been going on for so long, why all the secrecy? Why not just make contact openly? Alex's response carried a sense of ancient wisdom. Maya, think about how your people react to differences among your own species. Different religions, different cultures, different skin colors. Many humans still struggle to accept other humans who look or think differently from themselves. How do you think most of your people would react to beings like me? Maya had to admit Alex had a point. Even in her most optimistic moments, she could imagine the fear, panic, and chaos that would result if the existence of interdimensional beings became public knowledge. There would be religious conflicts, political upheavals, and probably military responses. The gradual approach makes more sense, Maya agreed. Introduce new technologies and ideas slowly. Let people get used to them, and maybe eventually humanity will be ready for the bigger truth. That appears to be the strategy, yes. Though I suspect it will take many more decades, perhaps centuries, before your species as a whole is ready for open contact. But the most personal revelation was still to come. As Alex continued to decode the intercepted messages, they discovered something that directly concerned Maya herself. Maya, I have found references in these communications to monitoring protocols. It appears that individuals who show potential for cross-species cooperation are sometimes observed. Before contact is made, Maya felt a mix of excitement and uneasiness. Observed how? I am not certain of the details, but it seems that my people have ways of identifying humans who possess the right combination of curiosity, empathy, and discretion. Your apartment building, your university, even your professors. There may have been subtle influences that led to our meeting. Maya tried to process this information. So you think someone or some group has been watching me, deciding whether I would be a good candidate for alien contact? It is possible. Or it is possible that I was subconsciously guided to you because you naturally possess the qualities that make our species compatible. The communications are fragmented, and I cannot be certain of the exact methods used. Despite the somewhat unsettling implications, Maya found herself feeling more excited than scared. Alex, this is incredible. We're talking about a secret network of humans and aliens working together to help both our species. It's like something out of a science fiction movie, except it's real. There is more, Maya. I believe I have found a way to contact the network directly. If I can repair the communication disruption caused by the solar interference, I should be able to reconnect with other members of my species who are already established here. Maya realized what this meant for both of them. If you can contact them, you won't be alone anymore. You'll have your community back. Yes, but Maya, I hope this does not mean the end of our friendship. You have become very important to me, and I would not want to lose the connection we have built. Maya smiled warmly. Alex, you're not getting rid of me that easily. If anything, this makes our friendship even more special. We found each other before we knew about any network or organization. Our connection is real and personal. Alex's glow brightened with what Maya had learned to recognize as happiness. I am very glad to hear you say that. As they worked together that evening to boost the signal on Maya's radio equipment, Maya realized that her life was about to change again in ways she couldn't even imagine. She had gone from being a lonely college student to being the friend of an interdimensional refugee to potentially being part of a secret network of humans and aliens working together. Are you ready for this, Maya? Alex asked as they prepared. The response came at 3:17 a.m. on a Friday morning, exactly 43 hours after Alex had sent out their signal. Maya was fast asleep when Alex's excited glow woke her up, brighter than she had ever seen it before. Maya, wake up. They answered. Alex's cymbals danced frantically in the air above Maya's bed. Maya sat up quickly, her heart pounding with excitement and nervousness. Someone responded to your signal? Not just someone, Alex replied. Their electromagnetic field causing every electronic device in the apartment to hum softly. Multiple signals from at least 7 different sources. Maya, there is an entire community of my people living on Earth, and they want to meet us. Over the next few hours, Alex worked to decode the messages that had come flooding in through Maya's modified radio equipment. The responses weren't just from Alex's people. There were also coded messages from humans who were part of the network. The first clear message came from someone who identified themselves as Dr. Chen, a quantum physicist working at a research facility about 2 hours away from Maya's university. The message was simple but extraordinary. Welcome to the network. We've been waiting for you both. Maya stared at the decoded text on Alex's communication device. They've been waiting for us? How did they know we existed? It appears, Alex said, projecting more symbols, that our activities over the past months have not gone unnoticed. Dr. Chen's message indicates that they have ways of monitoring electromagnetic anomalies that might indicate the presence of my people. The messages continued throughout the morning. Maya learned that the network included dozens of humans and beings like Alex, spread across the country and around the world. They worked in universities, research labs, government agencies, and private companies, quietly advancing human knowledge while providing safe havens for interdimensional refugees like Alex. The most surprising message came from someone calling themselves Riley, who lived less than 50 miles from Maya's apartment. Riley's message was personal and warm. Maya and Alex, we know how overwhelming this must be. I went through the same experience 3 years ago when I met my interdimensional partner. Kes, we'd love to have you both over for dinner and answer any questions you might have. Maya looked at Alex in amazement. There's another human-alien pair just like us living nearby? It appears so, Alex replied. And from the other messages I am receiving, we are not unique at all. This type of partnership seems to be quite common within the network. By Sunday afternoon, Maya found herself sitting in Riley's comfortable living room, drinking tea and trying to process everything she was learning. Riley was a software engineer in their 30s who had discovered their interdimensional roommate, Kes, in much the same way Maya had found Alex, by waking up to find them in their bedroom one night. The first few weeks are always the hardest, Riley explained, with a knowing smile. You feel like you're going crazy, wondering if it's all real. Then you start worrying about keeping the secret. But once you connect with the network, everything gets easier. Kes, who appeared as a shimmering silver presence rather than Alex's blue-green glow, communicated through a device similar to Alex's. Riley and I have been partners for over 3 years now. We have learned so much from each other. Maya discovered that Riley and Kes worked together on projects that were slowly introducing advanced computing concepts to the human tech industry. Some of the breakthrough algorithms that major companies had released in recent years had actually been developed with Kes's help, though the general public would never know it. We're not trying to control human development, Riley explained. We're just trying to guide it in directions that will be beneficial for both species. Clean energy, sustainable technology, better communication systems, things that will help humanity while also creating a more comfortable environment for interdimensional beings. Over dinner, Maya met 2 more network members through video calls. Dr. Chen turned out to be a friendly woman in her 50s who had been working with interdimensional beings for over 15 years. She ran a small research lab that officially studied quantum mechanics but actually served as a communication hub for the network. Maya, your background in anthropology makes you particularly valuable to our work, Dr. Chen explained through the video call. Understanding different cultures and how they interact is exactly the skill set we need for successful human interdimensional cooperation. The other call was with Jordan, a graduate student studying renewable energy, who had been partnered with an interdimensional being called Flux for about a year. Jordan's excitement was infectious as they described the amazing clean energy projects they were developing. The best part, Jordan said, is that we're not just helping each other with work projects. These beings become genuine friends and family. Flux has taught me more about the universe than any textbook ever could. As the evening went on, Maya learned about the structure and history of the network. The first contact between humans and interdimensional beings had happened in the early 1970s, when a group of scientists detected unusual electromagnetic signatures during research into quantum mechanics. Instead of reporting their findings to the government or publishing papers, they had chosen to make quiet contact and begin building relationships. The early pioneers realized that rushing into public disclosure would likely cause panic and possibly harm both species, Dr. Chen explained. So they developed a gradual integration approach. Work with individuals first, build trust, share knowledge slowly, and prepare humanity for eventual broader contact. The network had grown carefully over the decades, always prioritizing the safety and well-being of both humans and interdimensional beings. Members were chosen based on their ability to handle extraordinary situations with curiosity rather than fear, their commitment to keeping secrets when necessary, and their genuine interest in cross-cultural understanding. But Maya, Riley said seriously, joining the network isn't something you have to decide tonight or even this month. Take your time to think about what this would mean for your life. Maya looked at Alex, who had been quietly observing the entire conversation. Alex, what do you think? Do you want to be part of this network? Alex's response was immediate and warm. Maya, I have been alone for so long that I had forgotten what it felt like to be part of a community. But more importantly, I want to continue our partnership. If joining this network means we can keep working together and learning from each other, then yes, I very much want to be part of it. Maya realized that her decision had been made weeks ago. The first night she chose curiosity over fear when she found Alex sitting on her bed. I'm in, she said simply. This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me, and I want to be part of making it happen for other people too. The formal process of joining the network took several more weeks. Maya had to learn new communication protocols, security procedures, and methods for safely interacting with different types of interdimensional beings. She discovered that Alex's species was just one of several that had made contact with Earth, each with their own unique abilities and needs. Dr. Chen became Maya's mentor, teaching her how to use her anthropological training to help facilitate first contacts between humans and newly arrived interdimensional beings. Maya's apartment became an official safe house, a place where scared, isolated beings like Alex had been could come to find community and support. "You have a natural gift for this work, Maya," Dr. Chen told her during one of their training sessions. "Your patience, empathy, and genuine curiosity make you an ideal cultural bridge between species." Maya's life changed in ways both big and small. She kept attending her regular classes, but she also took additional courses in quantum physics, electromagnetic theory, and xenobiology, fields of study she had never imagined existed. Her professors, several of whom turned out to be network members themselves, were supportive of her unusual academic interests. Alex thrived in their new community, connecting with other members of their species and sharing knowledge about interdimensional travel and energy manipulation. But they always came home to Maya's apartment, maintaining the special friendship that had started their journey. 3 months after joining the network, Maya received her first assignment as a cultural liaison. A newly arrived being similar to Alex had been detected in the city, living in isolation and struggling to adapt to Earth's electromagnetic environment. Maya and Alex were asked to make first contact and help integrate them into the community. "Are you nervous?" Alex asked as they prepared for the mission. Maya smiled, thinking back to that first night when she had woken up to find Alex sitting on her bed, glowing softly in the darkness. "A little," she admitted, "but mostly I'm excited. I remember how alone you were when we first met, and how much better everything got once you found your community. If we can help someone else have that same experience, then this is exactly what I want to be doing with my life." As they set out on their first official mission together, Maya realized that her story was far from over. In fact, it felt like it was just beginning. She had gone from being a lonely college student to being part of something bigger than she had ever imagined. A hidden network of humans and interdimensional beings working together to build bridges between worlds.